living in Lelystad. You had by that time built a little house. I see that many of you are going to the experimental houses. Beautiful, beautiful house, by the way. Very nice. This is architect Koolhaas coming out. Remember, it had been planner Koolhaas. Really, after that foray into the dental building, there wasn't a huge amount of building then. It was really the planner thinking. But he got back to, there's this terrible dichotomy with Teun. He wants to build. He was always saying to me, John, they won't let me build enough. They won't let me build it. I want to build my ideas, But you were a great planner as well, Teun. You actually, other people can build them. It's there. It's there. It's very important. Netherlands as a design today. Dirk Frieling, I don't know if Dirk is here, but Dirk, I think, was behind that. And that was quite extraordinary to me. Here, and this is actually something very Dutch. And Teun is absolutely at the lead of that, and Hubert, because Hubert actually did this wonderful big, big landscape idea of conceiving a place which is placeless, the whole of the center of the Netherlands. You weren't frightened. There was this huge model at the Bouwcentrum, I remember it, with lights which kind of went on and off and colors, and that great, great slideshow by your friend from the States, and together he brought these marvelous pictures together. Tony, yes. Wonderful, wasn't it? Yeah. And this was a really important moment, because what we are doing now is still struggling how to make form out of a shapeless place, the network city. And back then, which I think was about 82, it was early, it was very early, you were doing exactly that. You were trying to understand something which was much bigger than the little architect drawing their buildings. How did we bring form and meaning to a new type of city? I came actually first, and I think this says a lot about the way we should all be working and what was so important about Teun. He was somebody who was so confident, and is so confident, about what his strengths are, that he was quite unafraid to go to anybody and say, come and work with me. And that is actually what we must all learn sometimes, that to be really good, you need to work collaboratively with other people. He was asked to look at the office buildings on the Het Catharijne for NS Vasgoed, terrible office building, and we worked because he knew where my interest was in how people use space. And we came over and I worked with that. And that led on to, I think, a absolutely important part of what Teun again has given to the Netherlands and your thinking, which was Rotterdam, and Kopfenside. And what we had here was the classic visionary, who the bridge had been talked about for a long while, but it wasn't that. It was bright enough to see that the bridge was a symbol. You can talk about bridges, but to understand, and this was the time before we'd really seen, everybody now, city now has a bridge. You know, they're to a penny, bridges, Calatrava everywhere. But it was that bridge, the Erasmus Bridge, which was the defining moment, actually, of the real thing which came across. And the idea that this was money from the state, money from the city, and it's like combining, understanding the mechanics of, if you look at the wonderful book about the Almira workshop, is those drawings about that. They're not doodles, they tell exactly how it's going to be built. You know, I think, Teun, exactly how it is, even if 40 years' time, that's what it's about, isn't it? It could be built like that. Yeah? As you said to me, I know exactly which way the junction will go, I know what's coming here on this road. And we were talking about the whole of the north part of the Randstad. Yeah? And there was this guy saying to me, and I know exactly how it works. That is important. That is, I think, unique, which a lot of your flashy architects out there doing some of those buildings, you know, which we're seeing, this is a zoo out there, of wonderful things, but they don't understand it at that level of detail, which I believe we're talking about here. You see, that's what the message is for us all here. Think of being generous. Think always that you can be smarter than you are if you're generous enough to bring other people in. And thank you for bringing me in.
It was a pleasure.